Good evening. The Red Bank Planning Board will come to order this 14th day of January 2026. The time is 7 o'clock. Adequate notice of this meeting has been posted at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, and mailed to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times. No new cases will be heard after 10 p.m. The board will adjourn for a recess at 8:30 p.m.
Do the oath of office first?
Oh,
You do
yes.
roll call? Do you have it? Do you have a note?
Yes.
Do you want me to? I've been just told one off the internet. Okay, give me 2 seconds. New Jersey. Fine, I got it. All right, so I need Shauna, Barbara, Brian. You guys ready? Great, just raise your right hands. Do you, just repeat after me. I state your name.
Hi, Shauna Eubanks.
Hi, Brian Carnegie.
Rose.
Thank you. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the
Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and that I will bear true faith
And I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and
and to the governments established
established
in the United States and in this state
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the
people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
Perform all the
of
duties
planning board member
of planning board member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So
So help me God.
Congratulations to the three of you.
yeah,
And welcome Shauna as a member.
we get to do that.
Okay.
Now I can do a roll call.
Okay. Mayor Portman, absent. Shauna Eubanks, present. Christina Bonatakis. Here. Dan Puso, absent. Louis Demento. Absent. Barbara Boas. Megan Massey. Here. Wilson Bibi, absent. Itzel Hernandez. Here. Frederick Stone
Here.
and Brian Parnigan.
Here.
Thank you.
Now time to reorganize the board. We'll accept nominations for chairperson.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Dan Mancuso for chair.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Roll call, please.
Shauna Eubanks, yes. Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas.
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Wilson Bibi. Sorry, I cannot hear. Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone
Yes,
and Brian Parnigan.
Yes.
I'll move on to the vice chairman. Any nominations?
I nominate Barbara Boas as vice chair.
Second.
Other nominations? Roll call, please.
Shauna Eubanks, yes. Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas, oh, sorry. Megan Massey.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone.
Yes,
Brian Parnigan.
Yes.
next is board secretary.
No, we just didn't nominate.
I nominate Shauna Eubanks.
I second.
Okay, Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas.
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone
Yes,
and Brian Parnigan.
Yes.
next is board attorney.
I nominate Mark Lexstein.
Second.
Board Attorney Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Second. Shauna Eubanks, yes. Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas.
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone
Yes,
and Brian Parnigan.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Engineer.
engineer.
I nominate T and M.
Second.
Roll call?
Shauna Evans, yes. Christina Bonatakis,
Yes.
Barbara Boas,
Yes.
Megan Massey.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Frederick Stone
Yes.
and Brian Carnigan.
Yes. It will take you a while to get used to calling your own name.
The newspapers are, Two Rivers and, Asbury Press.
Okay.
Two Rivers Times.
Two Rivers for official newspapers, Two Rivers Times and Asbury Park Press.
You nominating them or?
I will nominate them.
I'll second.
And that can be an all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody reads newspaper.
Conflict Board Professionals.
It would be see. I nominate Kevin Kennedy for conflict board attorney and CME as conflict board engineer.
Second.
That should be a
Roll call.
that should be a roll call because they're professionals.
Shauna Evans, yes. Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas. Yes. Megan Massey.
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez.
Yes.
Fred Stone.
Yes.
Brian Carnigan.
Yes.
Board meeting calendar.
It was previously distributed, so you can just make a motion to accept it and that can be all in favor.
I motion to accept the 2026 board calendar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Meeting minutes approval for the meeting of December 10th.
Motion to approve. Second.
Second.
Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas.
Yes.
Megan Massey. Itzel Hernandez.
I don't know if I was here for that one, so I'll abstain.
I think you were.
I'll
Fred Stone
Abstain.
and Brian Carnigan.
Yes.
Resolution.
Resolutions, move that we approve the resolution of approval P 15852, One Riverview Plaza, Block 9, Lot 33.01.
Motion to approve.
We need a second. Christina Bonatakis.
Yes.
Barbara Boas. Yes.
Shauna Eubanks.
Oh, yes, and Shauna Evans. I was here. Brian Carnigan.
Yes.
Other than that, then yeah. And for consistency.
Okay, master plan consistency, approved.
So that's the first item of business, Mr. Chairman. And so, Shauna, I think you wanted to say something on that.
Oh, yes. So the first item for master plan consistency is the council proposed resolution for designation of block 39, lot 30 as an area in need of redevelopment. I'm sorry, of rehabilitation. This lot was originally missing from the designation that we did. I believe it was back in
It was like April or something like that, or no, it was last year.
October.
Yeah, October, yeah.
October. This portion was omitted, was overlooked because it belonged to the driveway for that site. And so we are now trying to add it back into the to connect it into the rehabilitation area.
So we're just looking, so you've already basically gone through this entire study. I think everybody knows the properties and we're just asking to add it into it. So we just need a motion to find it in needed, that it meets the criteria for rehabilitation. And basically the criteria was that it's an abandoned piece of, it's a vacant piece of property. It's been routinely vacant, utilized. So we're looking for that. And I also produced the resolution to that effect. So if you want to make a motion to vote, declare it an area needed rehabilitation and adopt the resolution in one vote, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I assume you're going to recuse your, do you recuse yourself from that?
No.
It's not a train station.
Oh, it's not the train station. Oh, okay.
I motion to
Define it, define that it meets the criteria and also to adopt the resolution to that effect.
The block 39 lot 30 meets the criteria for an area in need of rehabilitation and to approve the resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Shauna Evans? Yes. Christina Bonisakis? Yes. Barbara Boas?
Yes.
Megan Massey?
Yeah.
Itzel Hernandez?
Yes.
Fred Stone?
Yes.
Barbara Boas, I'm sorry, Brian McCarthy.
Yes.
Let me get it together.
Second.
And then the second ordinance.
Yeah, now this one actually is a master plan consistency on the ordinance.
Yeah.
And these are the historical guidelines which the board looked at the last meeting. And the board didn't have any problem with it. So if the board just wants to make a motion that you find it consistent with the master plan, Shauna can send a letter to council indicating as such.
Motion that the board accept it as appropriate for the fitting into the master plan, whatever the appropriate words would be.
Consistent with the master.
Consistent, okay, thank you. Consistent with the master plan, and we approve it.
I move to second. Okay, Shauna Ebanks, yes. Christina Bonatakis?
Yes.
Barbara Boas?
Yes.
Megan Massey?
Yes.
Itzel Hernandez?
Yes.
Fred Stone?
Yes.
And Brian Farnigan.
Yes.
First application.
We didn't do the before resolution.
Oh, yeah. We did.
We did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, new business, the application for 183 Dr. James Parker Boulevard, block 90, lot 12.01. The applicant being 183 Dr. James Parker Boulevard, LLC, RD zone.
And Mr. Chairman, before we proceed on that, I did advise Mr. McKenna earlier that it's my recommendation that this application be reviewed by a board planner who TNM has, and because it wasn't done for this hearing. And I think the planning testimony would be important, and I know Jackie agrees with me that that would probably be a good idea. So I've already told Mr. McKenna, we're not, unless the board disagrees, it's not my recommendation that you decide this application tonight, that you give an opportunity, you let the applicant put on as much testimony as they wish, then carry the application to the next available meeting, and in which time the board planner can review it and come with their recommendations. And yes,
I have to leave now.
thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm going to mark in as so the record will note that Ms. Boaz is leaving the dais because she has to leave for personal matters. And Mr. Chairman, I'll just mark in the following exhibits. Exhibit A1 will be the preliminary and final major site plan dated July 1st, 2025, last revised October 20th, 2025. Exhibit A2 will be the minor subdivision plat for the property dated March 1st, 2025. Exhibit A3 will be the architectural plans dated August 11, 2025, last revised September 26, 2025. And Exhibit A4 will be the stormwater management report dated October 1st, 2024. And then the other exhibit I have is for the board. That'll be Exhibit B1 as in board one, which is the TNM engineering review letter, which is dated January 2nd, 2026. Those are all the exhibits that I have. Mr. McKenna, if you want to put your appearance on, we can turn it over to you.
David, thank you very much. Please excuse me, my voice is somewhat compromised as a result of about 2 weeks of a cold, so I apologize for the hoarseness of that. I'm Deb McKenna. I'm here on behalf of the applicants and Lori Jorgensen. They're the owners of the property, block 90, lots 1201 and 1202. Just by way of introductory remarks, I know the board is well familiar with this. You've all had the opportunity to review the package and the plans, et cetera. It's a very unique piece of property located right next to the coffee corral and between the coffee corral and Red Bank Housing Authority on James Parker Boulevard. It is 75 feet, excuse me, 75 feet wide. 3 feet. Notice of the property took the consideration of what to develop here very seriously. Spent about 2 years reviewing options. There's no real good to do other options that look at, especially several. If you look at the neighborhood in the area in question, they had the option of building, believe it or not, under of right, 6 townhouses. Was a particular property. They could have done side by side, right down either side of the property. They could have put multiple townhouses in a number of different locations. What they also did, however, was study the neighborhood. And in doing so, what they discovered was, if you go down James Parker Boulevard, particularly in the area of this property, as you go west, almost all the houses in that area are two-family houses. So they were trying to somehow or another arrive at a point where they were trying to fit into the neighborhood as much as possible. And they gave up the option of developing it more heavily and having more units and trying to fit it in with the neighborhood and the surrounding property. That was their goal. So he arrived at the plan that is before you this evening. And as I said, I'm going to ask Mr. O'Neill to go over a few of the other properties or other options that were available to them. And also give you some history of what was there previous. If you go there today, what you will observe is one house that's located literally about 280 feet at the back of the property, with nothing in front. And that is the reason for the unique opportunities as far as development property. But we were trying to identify as much as possible with the neighborhood. And that's how we got to where we are today. We acknowledge the fact that this has what is traditionally known as a flag lot. But really, the flag lot is serving as a driveway for the two-family homes that are being proposed on this particular application. That is the best way we felt at the end of the day of providing access to the entire piece of property and allowing each of those two-family homes be developed, provide as much green area as possible with them, while providing adequate parking for them. Also, I would advise you that I had previously checked with the Red Bank Housing Authority to see if we had ability to utilize their property in the event that you saw fit to approve the application as far as access to their property for building and also access to the property essentially because the driveway is going to be almost, it's literally adjacent to the housing authority property. So we took the time to meet with the housing authority representative and they advised us they had no opposition whatsoever and they welcomed the application as it was to be. Excuse me again. So on that note, what I'd like to do is call our first witness. Ed O'Neill, he's the works well familiar with Mr. O'Neill. He's done a number of projects here in town. And he is the architect that was retained by the owners who designed the structure that you had before you today. I know you have the floor plans. They don't run through the floor plans with you. Also, as I indicated, give you a little bit of history about the property itself and what options we looked at. So on that note, I'd like to ask Mr. O'Neill.
Is Mr. O'Neill only testifying as an architect this evening?
No, he's going to testify as a professional clinical.
That's what I assumed. Okay.
You know,
Yes.
you know,
Absolutely. All right, Mr. O'Neill, do you swear any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, self you got? And just say your name for the record. And you are a licensed architect and a licensed planner in the state of New Jersey. Both licenses are in good standing and you intend to testify in both capacities this evening. Is that correct? Thank you. Go ahead.
In my planning testimony, architecture, so they may get a little overlapping. I'll sum up in planning testimony, but really start out kind of discussing the property and then get into the architecture. So it won't be quite as simplistic, but I have.
No, can I make a suggestion? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm
I've
sorry.
reviewed these tapes so often, sometimes it's really hard to hear. So if you could just speak into the mic, because I'm sure our planners would want to hear what you have to say too.
Is that better?
I think so.
It doesn't, because we're not hearing it through the mic. She's getting it on the recording, but we're not hearing it through the speaker system.
It's just really annoying my. Yes.
The be witness mic usually works.
I can move it.
Yes.
So, I mean, we can hear you,
Yeah, we hear.
but it's not, we're hearing your voice. We're not hearing it through the speakers. Like when I talk, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I listen to it for resolution compliance, I'm like, what's going on with my
Yeah.
computer? Why can't I hear anything?
Exactly.
Would it help if I sat there?
It might. Well, let's see what Sean is able to do in the back,
And microphone, it's better.
probably.
They're being replaced very soon, if anyone was concerned.
Mhm.
Been saying that for a while, but it's true.
Sean, why don't we just have him sit there? If you don't mind, yeah.
Thank you.
Mark, I'll try to use this one.
Okay.
It's okay. All right.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it off.
I jiggled something.
I may have broke it.
It was the volume.
Yeah, it's right.
Good.
Yes, no,
Yeah,
move up there.
No, we can hear you now through the speakers also. It's working.
yeah.
We're good.
I got it. Shauna, and you can just.
Go ahead.
And Shauna's gonna, actually, okay, thank you. Okay, so if we just kind of describe the site, I know Ed did, but I'll just go over it briefly again. This is two existing lots. They both have frontage on Doctors Jane Parker Boulevard. It's 0.052 acres, which is 22,500 square feet. Joined. It's in the RD residential zoning district that does allow two-family houses. And based on the lot size, if you do the math, it would allow up to 6 units. And so, as Mr. McKenna said, we did look at a bunch of different options for this, which I'll get into in a second. Could you go to the next slide? These are some photographs along Doctors Parker Boulevard. And you can kind of see this one. You can see that this is the driveway for the housing authority. And then this is the big nothing leading to that house and over 250 feet back. So that's what exists.
Let me just, I'm sorry, we should probably mark on these photographs. How many photographs are we talking here? Just 4. All right, we'll mark that in as exhibit A5.
Can you zoom in? You just want to zoom into each one.
Yeah, make it full screen.
Presentation, the PDF.
So this is across, this one is across the street, which leads to Johnny Jazz Park, which is on the corner of Shrewsbury Avenue and Dr. Park Boulevard. And to the right, we just said was so we're going west on the other side of the street to the right of the door this way. That would be the site viewed from Dr. Parker Boulevard, this one. So that's the driveway. And then Sean, if you go down to the left, the lower left. Okay, so this is, the coffee corral is here. And this is looking back at the site. The back of the house is way back here. And if you go to the last one, which would be to the right of this one, yeah. Okay, this is the kind of event building, maintenance buildings, secondary building to the coffee corral. And again, this is stuff we're talking. Can you go to the next board, please? Thank you. So this is an aerial photo of the site. So in the red is the property. So again, here's the house. This is the Seniors Housing Authority property. This is the Elks Club. This is the Coffee Corral, which uses, this is 4 buildings, 3 of which are houses. One is an office building, and they're set back about 150 feet from the rear property line. And then to the west are the single and 2-family houses that extend to Layton Avenue and across the street. So
All right, so let me just, is this the same photograph that's inside the our engineer's letter, or is this?
no, we should mark
Market separately. Okay. So this is exhibit A6, which is an aerial with the subject property out.
If you go to the next slide. Okay, so this is this would be another one. So that's,
Okay. All right, so tell me what it is.
well, again, it's a color-coded use diagram of the area around the subject property. So these blue,
A coded use diagram?
Yeah.
A color coded use diagram, that could be exhibit A7.
so this light blue are institutional uses, which would be the Public Housing Authority and the Elks Club. The red are commercial uses, yellow are residential uses, 1 and 2 family. And then these are the 2 proposed buildings, this one being a 2-family house, this being a 2-family house, and the parking area would be between. So you, okay, then, so this is the development plan. Now, as we don't have any other graphics of this, but we did look at the driveway on this side of the property, which would be the east side of the property, and lining up 6 townhouses here, which would have detached garages, 1 per unit. And so that would meet the density requirement, and we could meet the setbacks, but there would be 2 more units, and there'd be more lot coverage. So our client decided not to do this. Then we looked at doing this with 3 2-family houses, because that would maintain the 6 units. And we did meet with Jackie and Shawna, kind of informally, just to get a feel for it. And they agreed, and well, they said, and we agreed that it was too dense. That even though we could make argument that it would meet the ordinance, we all felt it was too dense. So we basically came down to having these 2 buildings. And I'll get into the architectural of that. So.
May I ask, management of this, is this a single association or how is this going to be managed?
It's gonna be a cross agreement. I have about 3 or 4 similar examples of that. The 2 parties enter into an agreement. They create a fund so that they pay in addition to whatever the costs are. They have a monthly obligation to pay into a fund, maintain the properties, that include landscaping, snow plowing, etc.
Well, why are you not just doing a condominium of 4 units?
We considered that. Idea was make them rentals. At the time that we discussed it, the idea was to make them rentals because we thought that was more in need for the area in question. So that might be better by the community making them rentals.
Okay, so they're all going to be owned by the applicant.
Correct.
You can still do a condo and have multiple rentals. I'm just saying, I think some of your problems go away if it's all one lot with the 4 units on it.
Well,
Some of them, at least in my mind.
yeah, no, I understand. I mean, that's an option that we could avail ourselves of. The board felt that was a better option. We could avail ourselves of that.
I'm just a stupid attorney. I'm not asking me, but that just what.
It's really stupid. But that is something we discussed, Mark. I don't want you to think for a second.
Okay,
that wasn't something that we discussed. And if at the end, of this case, the board feels that would be a better option than if you advise us on that, then I'm sure that we will discuss it amongst ourselves and likely, in all likelihood, reach a conclusion that that's acceptable. And we create a homeowner association, you know, one of the things that we do in connection with that, just that we were trying to. We spent a lot of time looking at the area in question, housing needs, and that was our conclusion. Perhaps the board may disagree, we don't know.
Well, how are the, as long as we're on this subject, assuming that we do it the way you wanted, that you're proposing now, the two family, each of the two families, how are they gonna be covered?
I'm sorry.
So you have two families, how is the two I guess they're all gonna be rentals, so they'll all be owned by the same person, okay, so that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Right, I got it, thanks.
Yeah.
Is this open now to?
Yeah, I mean, the board can always jump in if it has a question.
Was there any,
Lines are off.
was there any, discussion of doing just like a what is it called? Like a fourplex, quadplex? Sixplex, instead of the two separate buildings?
Yes.
Okay, and what was,
Looked at that option, and again, my clients felt that the two-family option was most prevalent to them, but it's prevalent in the neighborhood. And so rather than the townhouses or a small apartment building, which is having built this building company, they opted for this, because again, we stressed to them that we could have the 6 units.
yeah,
So therefore, but they were pretty adamant about this option.
I'm just worried about the amount of asphalt that you're putting down for
I
that.
think I can speak to that a little bit. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, just because I know that it floods a lot to begin with, and then you're putting down more asphalt.
Right. And Mr. Garrido can speak to that also. So. All right, can you go to the next slide, Sean? I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not sure whether you know what this is.
This is a new exhibit also, right? It's a new exhibit.
Yes.
All right, so it's gonna be exhibit A8, just tell me what it is.
It's a Sanborn tax map
Oh, what it is.
from the late 1920s.
From the late 1920s?
Now, what a Sanborn map is, I'm not telling you something you know, but I don't know the word. Okay. A Sanborn map is back before the digital world. The towns would have lot lines to define properties by size and tax rate, but they would not have the improvements. And the Sanborn Map Company would map the improvements and update these improvements every couple of years. So you know, when you look at this, and Shauna, can you blow up any portion of it, just get a little closer? Now, if you look at if you'll notice, these boxes are different colors. So that's that's where the colors come from in planning lingo to determine which is, when you draw them, which one is commercial, which one's institutional, which one's whatever. So they're the same ones. Shauna, can you move to yes, thank you. Now, this is our property. What's always interesting about looking at this is the amount of buildings that are no longer here. So this whole thing here is part of the housing authority. So things were consolidated. But the thing that's really interesting about this image, that's the 1925 house that exists now. There was another. And it was in front of it on Dr. Parker Boulevard. So there were two houses with a common garage building between that was shared. So what we're proposing is really not all that different than what is on this map from roughly 100 years ago. So when you look at this, again, you see the one building and our one building faces this way. The difference is that our back building turns 90 degrees to face that way because it's a better view vista, things like that. So we think it's better for you. So this is a historic precedent on that particular property. When the property got subdivided, into two lots, because there's a subdivision now goes like this. What we're proposing, instead of having it perpendicular to Dr. Parker Boulevard, make it parallel. That's really the difference. And then the flag lot or access easement allows you to get to the back building, which obviously happened here at some point, which is why when you go there, the driveway is 250 feet long. Go to the next slide, please, Sean. So we're talking about a subdivision to rearrange buildings so they're front to back. We're also, there are two-family houses. They're on separate lots. The access easement we just spoke about, which is here. And if you look in the middle, there's a substantial amount of plantings because of the way we designed the parking. So these houses do not have garages, because garages take up about 600 square feet each. So that's another 1,200 square feet of lot coverage. So to not have, when we don't have garages, what we have instead are 8 parking spaces, which is what the ordinance requires. And then we have islands within it to create this almost small grove of trees. Now, from a sustainability standpoint, that does is it reduces what they call the heat island, which is what happens when you have a lot of sun in the little parking lot, especially in summer, and all the concrete heats up and then radiates out. And that's why it's so hot for the parking lot, as opposed to on somebody's lawn, as opposed to on somebody's lawn under a tree. So we think from a sustainability standpoint, this is a far better solution. Create this grove of trees that will shield the parking lot, which won't be, I mean, you'll have to be standing in the housing authority's driveway to see this parking. The building blocks it. And then this provides this kind of green oasis in the parking areas around. Now,
Was that an exhibit? We don't have that, right?
well, Mr. Garrido has this in his pack, but we colored the trees. So I don't know, is it new?
If you covered the trees, we probably should mark in. It's annoying, but yeah, and not on your end, on our end, but. So we'll mark that in as exhibit A9. It's the landscaping plan,
Yes.
colorized landscaping plan.
Yes.
Okay, color enhanced, better, yes.
Now, because we turned the back unit so that it faced Dr. Parker on the long axis here, we have one of our C variances, which is the combined side yards are a little short of what's required. But we did that for a couple of reasons. One, the distance between this and the house on Shrewsbury Avenue is 130 feet. So we felt that we weren't really impinging on that yard. And then this is the Elks Club parking lot. Back here is a parking lot for another professional development. And then the distance between the building and one of the units in the senior center is about 40 feet, which is actually a little longer than it is now between the existing house. So we felt that this was a better alternative, because when you look at the two buildings, which are the same, it's an old developer's trick, which is that you keep changing the perspective of the building so that they don't look the same. That's why you have windy roads, Middletown, going through the hills, so that you never really see the same house look from the same direction. So it looks like all different houses. So we think that because of what's around the context, that variance is justified. And that the turning of the house relative to the other one below, again, Sean, if you don't mind going down a bit, right? You see this one is turned because, again, this distance is more similar to the houses around. They tend to be thin. So we could make one thin and deep, the other is wide. Now, if we go to the architectural plans, which I think Sean has the next one. Here we go. Right, so each unit is 1,650 square feet, 3-bedroom. But if you look at most 3-bedroom houses, You might be able to get it down to 1,500. It's really tight. 1,650 is comfortable. The rooms are good sizes. Kitchen's decent size. Bedrooms all work. We do have a partially finished attic, which would not be used as a bedroom. There's no bathroom up there, but it would be like the classic rec space or something, and that's 170 square feet. So together, that would be 1,820 square. Jackie had asked for some calculations, and I did that graphically on the next sheet, Jackie, to show where that's 170, where that's 170 came from. So if you could scroll to the next. It's a little hard to see, what's right in here. It's an X. So the ordinance says it's the area that's 7 feet and above. So if you take this area here and the staircase, that equals the 170. Okay. Which is, the big deal is that in both the building code and in your zoning ordinance, if the finished attic is greater than 1/3 the size of the second floor, then it's considered a store. And as Jackie correctly points out in her letter, if that was the case, we'd be asking for a 3-story building, which would be another variance. But since it's less than 1/3, it's a finished attic, which means it's 2 stories. So we confirm. There is, this feature here is another sustainability thing, this. If you look at a lot of really old houses, and we're talking about going back to like mid-19th century, they have what's called a belvedere. And a belvedere was kind of like a little tower of glass in the middle of the building where no light would protrude. So there's always a dark part of the house in the middle, because houses got bigger and more square. That was just the way it worked. So what these will do, because the staircase runs on either side of this, so there's a party wall between. This light will spill down the staircases and basically make more light in the hallway. And the sustainability part of it is you'll use less electricity and lighting. These also will be operable. So what will happen on a nice spring day or a really fall day is when these windows are open, it's called a flue effect, just like a flue of a fireplace, except there's no fire. The warm air will rise as it normally does, come out and exit here. And so this will create what they call a convection loop, which will keep the house cooler, which will reduce air conditioning, which will reduce energy, which is what makes it sustainable. Again, in the engineer's letter, in the basement, we have a, it's not finished initially. We have a bathroom down there. The bathroom will contain what's called an ejector pump. So the effluent that the bathroom uses is pumped up and then pumped into the sanitary sewer line of the building and then goes out into the normal system. So it's not anything more than a small pump that fits into an area in the floor be cut through BD, and it's covered by another cover. So how big really, except that rather than water draining to one floor, it basically comes from directly from the pump fixtures. There was another question about the rear decks. So if you could go back to the front, check it with the exhibit. There you go. Could you go to the first floor, please, which is on the other? Yeah, these areas, these decks, they have been altered based on kind of a final revision of these, and we just kind of missed revising this. They're on Mr. Garrido's plan, they're 10 foot by 11 foot. That's what they'll be. We will have 2 staircases to maintain the landscape units here, and in between the 2 is where the trash receptacles will go, recycling for each unit. In this area here, this recess here, that's where the condensing units will go. For this unit and on the other unit, they're symmetrical, so they'll be screened with a decorative fence. I don't think there's enough room for landscaping. We'll try to landscape them, otherwise it'll be.
that create a variance? I don't. Does the location of the condensers,
Well, no, they're
is
not,
that in the setback? I just,
they'll be here, here, here.
The condensers have to be 3 feet from property.
They will. There'll be more. A lot. But that's why I can make the statement, but not.
I have a question.
And then the elevation.
Sorry, just a, no, just a quick question. What are you thinking about garbage pickup? How are you gonna handle that?
Well, the cans will be brought out first. Just okay.
The people in the back are gonna roll the cans down? Okay.
Sure.
We've seen that in other locations, usually what they do is they have a cart. The cans will contain in a cart,
Okay.
or just put it to the cans that are in the cart, then you wheel the cart.
Well, I'm sorry, where are the cans kept?
Right. And right, oops, sorry, right here. So this is one deck, that's one deck, there's landscaping buffer here, it'll be kept here.
So keep them on the side and the far unit has to walk around.
It'll be here. And then. So they'll walk and out, they'll walk around.
But the back unit,
This one.
yeah. So the person who lives on the, where's the can? In the back. All right, so they both have access to the back.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's a side by side.
Right. Got it.
So, the elevations, again, Sean, if you. And just kind of. So this would be a dimensional asphalt system. There are metal roofing highlights in some of the box windows and things like that. It'll be fiber cement siding, horizontal lap siding, so it's like a platform. And then in the gables would be a brick bat siding to break up the mass. Color hasn't been finally chosen. We kind of like or a very off-white color. I think that comes out against the trees really well. And for 9 months of the year. But that's my preference. At the moment.
And the material siding is like common along Shrewsbury Avenue.
Well, most of the stuff on Shrewsbury Avenue is probably vinyl, but fiber.
But like
cement-
the style wise.
Absolutely, it would definitely be like this. That's why we selected it. The house is 25 foot 6 inches high, so it meets the ordinance. Talked about the orientation of the buildings. Okay, so now if I go to my planning, that's the one. Maybe the previous possible. So we really, as again, the engineer's letter pointed out, it's really, since it's an allowed use, it's really about the positive neighborhood criteria. So being a positive person, start with positive criteria. If you look at the positive criteria, there's a list of different positive aspects to a project. This would meet, in my opinions, letters A, E, G, and I. A is an appropriate use, we think an appropriate use considering what's erected. E is population densities, and again, we're below what's the ordinance says, so I can't see why that's not a positive thing. Again, it's appropriate relative to context and also appropriate relative to use, and again, we are in a housing crisis. Nobody's kidding anybody about that. So using this as a residential use as opposed to some of the permitted non-residential uses, we think is a positive aspect. And the last is visual environment. I think what we've done with the houses to reorient them, I think they do blend in with the neighborhood to some extent. We do have a setback variance from Dr. Sparkle Boulevard. That's on purpose. We wanted to set back an amount similar to the other houses, not set way back. There are areas of town where you can petition the board to average the setback relative to the neighboring properties. And we think we qualify for that, and we would be doing it. So the Coffee Corral building, the houses to the west are all probably maximum about 15 feet. Probably. So we're 18 feet. Regarding the master plan, as you know from the master plan, there are these 4 categories in the master plan. It's organized a little differently. One's called balanced. The part 1, it has to do with smart growth. And the big issue with smart growth is targeted infill development. This is absolutely positively targeted infill. The second would be residential quality of life. And I think a lot of that has to do with the adjacent land uses, mix of resources available. We're close to a bus line. We're walkable distance to a train line. We have a park on the corner. We have service-oriented commercial right on Shrewsbury Avenue. So I think it's an ideal place. The other next section is called equitable. And that's again, the access to public facilities. So we talked about John and Jazz Park and the bus and train access. Also, number 3 talks about strengthening the existing neighborhood context. So a lot of 2-family houses will be more 2-family houses, and certainly the senior center, which is multifamily housing, we're not overdeveloping the site. We could develop it more. And the last one is prepared, which is environmental sustainability. And I'll talk about the heat island and the trees in the center where there are none. And Mr. Garrido will talk about the storm water better than I. But I know that's something that we've gone back and forth with, and we're very comfortable that the stormwater situation will more than that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The negative criteria, again, it's less dense than is allowed by ordinance. It's an allowed use. The neighboring properties are not really impacted. Again, to the north, you have similar setbacks with 2-family house units. The south, there is non-residential development, not negatively impacting anything there. To the west is the driveway for the housing authority, and to the east is a large open space where the Coffee Corral is. And you need to remember that, I don't know which board approved 8 years ago, but that site is approved for a shopping center. And that shopping center would have its parking lot in the back, which is actually a very nice thing, but it would be adjacent to our property. So again, nothing developed on that property is going to be impacted by these 2-family houses. So I think we meet them this. So therefore, I don't think there really is a need. I think we meet the standard of positive criteria significantly outweigh.
Did you say earlier that you could build an as-of-right plan with 6 units?
Build a density of 6 units.
Right, but an as-of-right application with no variances whatsoever?
When we looked at the townhouses, we thought that there were none.
So you don't have a copy of that plan to show the
It was an
board?
early thing we did almost 2 years ago.
No, I appreciate that.
I didn't think it.
It's hard for me to imagine how something like that could be on there with no variance relief whatsoever, but.
Make it skinny.
Yeah, that'd be really skinny. I don't know. I'm just trying to envision it.
Yeah, no, it's good. To be honest with you, it was the first thing I showed my client because I thought that was going to be the thing that they would want to do.
Well, and it would be similar to what's at the end of Dr. James.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm stuck on this parking lot in the middle of the lot.
Well, again,
Is anyone else?
Does
Does that bring you joy?
Four spaces.
But do you require 8 spaces?
The ordinance does, yes. Because the recent standards.
I thought RSIS updated their language where it's no longer the minimum it's the maximum parking is 2 spaces.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which totally flips the
Yeah.
narrative that we don't need 8 spaces.
But right, it's no longer the minimum, it's the maximum. So if you could prove that your site doesn't need it, you don't have to put it in. The maximum.
Yeah,
I
like
think there's three criteria underneath it.
yeah, like Red Bank being like a town center-ish place type.
It is.
Proximity to transit would be another. You know my take on parking, so. Yes. So sorry.
Prior town center, when we do the town center, let's expand.
You would determine that you would like to see a smaller parking lot with less spaces. My clients have said that they have an issue.
I am but one person, but yes, that would be.
We're definitely flexible on the issue. We're trying to meet what we thought was the ordinance standard.
No, I guess that's.
I'm sorry, Ed, I forgot, in our talks, did we ever discuss turning both houses the same size, not, as in making it both long way and not that long and vertical?
Yeah, we did talk about that and then
I think, and then
it was a
because
while
it's,
ago. I think I remember
Yeah.
that the turning and having them look different was considered to be more positive than having them, as I recall.
I thought it had something to do with the parking lot too, so if we're minimizing the parking, we may turn both to be on one.
I mean, it's something we.
And I feel like we've seen 4 different versions of this,
Yes.
at least. So I think you did look into that and maintaining the number of spaces at 8. There wasn't enough space to back out of the last one. It was, and come out because your driveway is already thinner than it should be. So if you want to reduce the space, allow them to reduce the spaces, maybe.
Oh, yes.
That might be it.
I might have done it.
Without 8 spaces, but I've always looked, honestly, I've always looked for those spaces.
Okay, Jackie. I just need, I believe you, but I just need clarification of this on the record, because this is, I don't know everything and it's new to me, this RSIS thing.
Mhm.
So your letter says that they require 8 spaces. So you're saying they don't require 8 spaces, that they could do 2 spaces?
The red,
Ordinance and like.
the Red Bank ordinance.
Forget the ordinance, I'm talking about RSIS.
RSIS, and I have it, I could pull it up, was changed in 2023, maybe.
Okay.
Rutgers did a study from developers, funded by developers, I believe, where they changed the exact wording to, it's no longer the minimum requirement, now it's the maximum requirement. But you had to, I could pull it up, there's 3 or 4. So in the past, right, you would have, if a town wanted to reduce the number of spaces required and not be consistent with RSIS, you'd have to present a plan, and that plan would have to be approved by who is it, DCA.
Okay.
And there were certain towns that they allowed that. That goes away because they changed the wording to maximum, but there's still 2 or 3, like there's at least 3 things that an applicant has to justify. So now you don't have to justify it to DCA, you justify it to the board.
Okay.
So that, let me.
So now you could come in with like 100 unit apartment building and come in with 1 parking space and the board has the right to say yes? Well, I'm just trying, I'm using the absurd example just so the board understands it, because if it's a maximum, not a minimum, it doesn't make sense to me. So I need to understand.
And that's why you have to, those, let me just pull it. There's those requirements you'd have to hit.
Like, if I could say something, I think it shifts the burden. I'm not aware of this, but I think it shifts the burden.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, which is interesting. It's been done enough
It
states.
it shifts the burden to the town, right? To the town to.
It's not should be for the developer to justify.
Yes.
So space.
Yeah, to provide.
I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes more sense than what's going in my head.
Do so. It gives them an
Okay.
avenue to prove it.
And for the.
And Jackie, you agree with that that's what it is that the board could require the 8 spaces if it wishes, but the developer has a right to say, look, this is why we only need 1 space. Okay, that makes sense to me then.
And in fact, when I opened up my RSIS, it just went straight to that section.
Okay,
Um,
I'm learning this for the first time today too, so because I've not had a board engineer tell me that, so.
So, and it,
Actually, Mark, it's especially happening, not in much smaller developments like this. It's happening in the larger developments. You know, you've got 30 units, 50 units, whatever. It used to be 2 spaces, now it's 1.2.
Right.
0.3, 0.4, and especially, for example, like on Bond Street. Case right out here, you're 2 blocks from the train station,
Yeah,
and the New York bus.
it makes perfect sense. Now that I understand that it's just the board could still enforce the 8 spaces if it wished. But you have the ability to more easily grant what used to be a variance or a waiver from the RSA. That makes perfect sense to me. So I'm sorry to waste your client's time with educating me. I do not charge you for that, but I appreciate
yeah,
you telling me
definitely
that.
maximum number of parking spaces instead of minimum. It's in old.
You just say what the criteria or the
I'm trying to find that.
Justification that the applicant has to prove. Just because if they're going to reduce their number,
It changes.
then we have to know, well, they have to know.
Here it is.
like we have
Table 4.4, so I'm reading from 5:21-4.14 parking. Oh, sorry.
Turn it up.
No. Oh. Sorry about that. So 5:21-4.14 from the RSIS. So the table 4.4 specifies the maximum number of parking spaces planning boards and other local reviewers shall require. Maximum. The number of parking spaces is based on the number, size, and type of dwelling. Reviewers may allow fewer parking spaces when warranted. Factors that may affect parking include the following. Number 1, household characteristics. Number 2, access to mass transit. Number 3, geographic location. And number 4, off-site parking resources. Approvals with fewer parking spaces shall be exempt from the de minimis exception process. The notice requirements shall not apply for approvals with fewer parking spaces. So the whole process of getting that, a plan in place for the town goes away.
Right.
You look at it per development.
Okay. All right.
It's highlighted.
Yeah.
Looking all over it, it was.
If you could send that to me also, I'd appreciate it. Okay, but go ahead. So yes, just so the board's clear, the board could require the full parking that they're proposing, or you could for less.
Yes, and I was just gonna put it out there, if, Red Bank is designated as a town center, like the 2 spots per unit is a very suburban place type, standard, so you would have an argument, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, to reduce the amount of parking.
And they would be agreeable.
Then does that change your? Would that then allow for you to revise your site plan to not only just the parking lot, but the orientation of the units? Yeah.
Are you maxed out on square footage for the units currently, or is this a coverage issue?
I don't think it's.
So essentially, are you maxed out on impervious right now? I don't have the data in front of me. Like if you reduce the amount of paved parking surface area, could you then potentially increase the size of your units?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, I was just,
Not maintaining.
Johnny, just on that point while they're talking, because now I'm curious. If the, while they're talking, if the board wanted to reduce the number of parking spaces, but the applicant said, no, we want to have our max parking because we feel like we need it. Would the board be justified in denying an application because they refused to lessen their parking?
Be a legal question?
Yeah, I don't think they would. I'm just throwing, that's a fair response. I don't know the answer to that, but my instinct would be that they would not be able to do that, so.
I've never encountered that. It's always
Yeah.
the other way around.
It's always the other way around, but this time it's emanating from us. So it's just.
I would agree, it's a lot of paving.
Yeah.
On a residential site, it's a lot of paving.
You have stumped Mark.
Therefore, I think could justify.
I agree, it's a lot of paving
Yeah.
for a residential.
Yeah.
site.
Yeah, I think you could.
Yeah.
Of all our.
Are there any, doesn't appear to be any sort of buffer plantings, it's not a requirement that I'm aware of, on the side yard where the rear of the building is.
If you look at Mr. Burrito's, that's an early concept plan. If you look at Mr. Burrito's plan here, well, it's not hard to see, but there's buffer plantings everywhere. Here, back here, there's street trees in front, parking, and then this is as treated as we could possibly be.
The thing that catches my eye that's just a little awkward by way of the orientation of the front building is that it effectively sets the rear of the building at the side yard. Right, so that you have your trash enclosures, your decks, your AC condensers up against the side yard of the Coffee Corral property.
Right.
Is that correct?
The
Yeah.
logic was that that's never gonna be a resident. Sorry,
No, yeah, no, no. I know what you're gonna say.
that's never gonna be a residential development. Right, so therefore, it's gonna be support services and parking for a shopping center or the coffee corral. And therefore, I don't really see there being.
Right, I understand that.
That was the logic of turning this, plus that'll have the driveway go through. This kind of stops your view and kind of makes this more important. We've got the Great Lansing tree, and if we board wanted us to do so, we could definitely decrease the parking and therefore the impervious area and add orchards.
If this is the direction the majority of the board wants to go, can I get an idea for the applicant? How many parking spaces are you looking for? Because I think that's an important question for the applicant to know, like, what are you looking for?
I mean, I'll say, but then we could have a dialogue.
Of course, you're just one person, and
I am one
but I
person,
think
yeah.
there's now been two people who have made the comment. So
Yeah.
I think you should give and the applicant said they're open to the discussion. I think you should give them an idea of what you're looking for.
I see like 4 to 6, or is that's 2 extra spaces that I just threw in, but like, I would say 4, I would say 4 minimum. So 1 space per house.
But the 4 to 6, if you have company and
Yeah.
that sort of thing seems reasonable.
Yeah. I'm also
Six.
curious, and I don't know if this is at all possible. I know you had said that the housing authority, did they say that you would grant you access, like they would open up that fence for access to the site?
Oh, yes. Excuse me. During the construction phase, yeah.
I thought, it's something crazy, like, there's a whole parking lot there that is underutilized. That parking lot is never full.
But it's just for the construction phase. They're not going to let them on it to
How do you
park
know?
in it. I don't know.
Seems here.
Yeah, don't know. I strongly suspect, I used to represent that. But strongly They don't have the flexibility. They operate on a pretty rigid guidelines, and then a lot of it has to do with the federal government, not just Red Bank. It's really the Red Bank housing authority, all of a rigid set of rules. And as I said, I learned it the hard way, so I know, but they've been, I mean, the housing authority is great, and we are actually gonna plant. If they not ask us to, we discuss this with them, we would even be willing to plant on their property. And we told them we're more than anxious to do it. So we would work with them. I mean,
It's an honest
it couldn't be any
situation.
nicer, so.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit of a unique situation. It's not just a property line.
Yeah.
It's a small retaining.
Oh, right, I forgot, yeah.
Right.
So we can't really plant much on our side, but we could plant on the other side if they want us to, allow us to, whatever the mechanism is. And then create less again on the island of asphalt to drive. But they would have to give us something there.
I would hope so. They like mow down all their trees, so they kind of need.
On the,
Cut down all their trees.
well, can we just continue that discussion? Of what the opinion is, just so we know where this is going, because it's obviously gonna change the direction.
Just been thinking about like the operations for Coffee Corral. It's pretty busy most times, and if we're eliminating parking and say guest parking to park on the street, I would aim for the 6 instead of the 4. Just because I know how crazy it gets across like that and street itself on both sides, people are crossing, and I mean, it's predominantly more during the morning time, but yeah, I would aim for a 6.
But you agree to that, they don't need the 8.
No.
Yes, you agree. Okay.
Sorry, you have to make a point, and if anyone does time. I drive down there pretty much every day. And I will tell you that there is street parking there, but it's heavily utilized. So could people who live in these 2-family homes park on the street? The answer is yes, and unquestioned. But I just want everybody to understand, it's not as though there won't be anybody else parking out there. It's utilized, but they could very well park out there, especially as it gets later in the day. It's a busy cut through because everybody goes down Layton Avenue. You take a right hand turn on James Parker. They go to the light at Shrewsbury Avenue and they keep going east. You know, I mean, I see people doing it all day.
And you just told us your cut through.
Absolutely, it's my cut.
And the housing authority actually just requested to eliminate one of the off-street parking spaces in front of their property because of the site triangle, and it's difficult for them to come out. So it does limit it. And then there's also the Thrive parking, Thrive development, which is deficient in parking, as you know, Ed. So they were counting on the off-street parking spaces too.
Yeah,
Well, the on-street parking spaces, sorry.
I mean, we can make it, is anyone in disagreement of going down to 6? No, all right, so not everybody has, so then we know, and you're amenable to doing that. Yes, all right, so you just cut the parking lot back, and I don't know if you can give us that, can you calculate that while we're sitting here, is that possible? I'm not trying to put you, I'm expecting you're gonna say no, but.
Can I make a suggestion? If they're gonna come back, can we kind of hash out other things that the board might suggest so that they don't have to keep revising their plans?
I was gonna suggest that next.
I'm gonna ask you to do that tonight. Since we know we're coming back, we would rather share, get the board's thoughts and try to incorporate everything that we all think is a good idea. So that when we come back, we have a revised plan that would reflect what we've been discussing this evening.
Would you like, I think, Mr. Rito should,
Yeah,
so you could answer. Here.
First, we have to have public Is there no?
I don't believe there's any public here on this application. If I am incorrect, raise your hand. All right, we'll note for the record that there is no public wanting to comment on it, so we've been open to the public normally, but there's literally no one here for it. So that would just be noted for the record. All right, Mr. Green, do you swear any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, self you got?
I do.
And just state your name for the record.
AJ Garrido,
Doesn't.
not first.
Green.
AJ Garrido, 265 Route 34, Colts Neck, New Jersey.
And you're a licensed engineer and your license is in good standing in the state of New Jersey.
It is.
Thank you. Go ahead. Does it make sense for him maybe to move up here? Is that, oh, you have everything open up in front of you, don't? I don't know.
Is that mic
Yeah,
get
yeah.
passed?
Your mic down.
Can that mic be passed back to you?
You could just stretch it across, Ed.
Yeah, I will. Get as close to you as possible.
Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Sean.
AJ?
That's okay.
Okay.
You ready? That's fine.
Thank you. Well, there was much discussion on how the property's laid out. I need to push this up.
We can hear it.
No,
We
we can
could hear you.
I'm sorry. Obviously, there's much discussion on how the property is laid out, so I won't be repetitive and do that. But basically, the entire property drains northerly towards James Parker Boulevard. The property is only a half an acre in area, but there's, a fairly extensive drainage system provided for the property. There is no public sewer out on James Parker Boulevard, which made it a little challenging for us. So we have a series of 12-inch ADS pipes throughout the property to collect all the water within the site. And we feed that storm sewer system to 2 underground detention areas. They're going to be storm tech chambers, arch chambers in a stone trench to provide infiltration. Outflows from the infiltration will come down towards James Parker Boulevard, and we're proposing a bubble basin on James Parker Boulevard. So for most storms, no runoff will leave the site. It'll all be infiltrated back into the ground. But if there's a 100-year storm, a small amount of water may flow out of that bubble basin and then flow down James Parker Boulevard towards Layton. That's the way the storm sewer is going. The nearest storm sewer is a few blocks down Layton, so it's several hundred feet from the property. So that's why we're not proposing a direct connection to an existing storm sewer system. Mr. O'Neill to explain the landscaping.
We have a
Question. What's a bubble basin?
A bubble, yeah, I apologize, should explain that. But basically, a bubble basin is just a catch basin that you might see on the street, a drain.
Okay.
Water. We're proposing, and they're throughout the site. But the final one, the most downstream bubble basin or catch basin, is going to be located right at the driveway where it enters onto James Parker Boulevard. And basically, if these real large storms come, and I'm talking a storm where James Parker Boulevard is probably going to have, a good amount of water flowing down the gutters anyway, the water will just flow out of that basin and then continue down James Parker Boulevard. So that's what a bubble basin is. Used more nowadays with the new stormwater management regulations and, the very regulated storms that we have to control. But anyway, that's how the storm.
I'm sorry, just a question. It was said before that the site is likely to flood or have some stormwater issues or?
No, I'm not aware of any storm issue. And we've done several. We've done several soil borings throughout the property, both for the foundations and for the drainage system. We hit no seasonal high water table, no groundwater, which is good because these infiltration basins, they're designed according with stormwater, the DEP stormwater management regulations. And the bottom of those basins have to be a minimum of 2 feet above where that seasonal high water table would be. So that sometimes restricts the use of these underground systems. But we didn't encounter that at our subsurface evaluation. And we also found all very permeable, favorable soils which was good for the property. So I think the stormwater is handled in a very prudent way. The landscaping we discussed, lighting, we prepared a lighting plan with, I don't recall exactly how many fixtures, but it'll light the parking lot in accordance with the borough standards. All the utilities will be coming from James Parker Boulevard. Currently, there's gas and water that goes all the way back 280 feet to that existing house. Those will likely be all new utilities, as well as a sanitary main running along the side property line that both of the buildings will connect to. That's basically it. We're proposing a new concrete curb and apron at the driveway, new sidewalk along the front of the site, and any curb or whatever that may or may not be damaged during the construction, the applicant would agree to fix and provide new curbing and sidewalk if required. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
I might add also that there was a requirement that we televise the line.
Yes.
Which we are willing to do, to televise the line and deal with any issues that may pop up while televising the line. So to make sure that our flow goes through without any problems. And Jack,
Sanitary.
yeah,
Yeah.
sanitary solution.
And I did have time to review Jacqueline's technical comments. And I don't really, unless the board wants me to go over any of them, but they're all sort of minor and technical in nature, and we would certainly agree to any revisions we make that would, for her review, and we would revise to her satisfaction. And I believe we're going to be making some revisions before we come back, so I'll incorporate any technical revisions we can, as well as any of the plan changes that the board is suggesting.
I think my emphasis, just in terms of the stormwater, aside from the technical, I think what we would like to see, in addition to, it's all in our letter, you know, certain grading changes and inverts. I don't think we got the soil test results.
Yeah, you did question that, and we'll provide the permeability test of the soil.
It's all hinging on that, right?
Absolutely.
Everything, you're taking all the water and you're putting it in the ground, and you're telling us that there's gonna be less water from a peak runoff out of the site than it is today, and that's all, it's all gonna be in.
All permeability, correct.
And if we can't check the soils and verify that, then we can't sign off on what's being proposed.
That's understood, and we'll provide those test results to you.
Thank you.
Anybody have a comment, question?
I guess for the board in general, to echo Jackie's concern earlier, are there other issues that the board sees that they would like addressed prior to the next hearing? All right, I don't hear any. So I guess all we're looking for, go ahead.
Just a question, what's the, like to see the front elevation of that front building. Do you have that available? The one that's cocked to the side.
Well, I have that in an elevation, but not in a context.
Okay,
If,
it would be good to see. Again, the only thing that I'm kind of struggling with that building orientation is that it's effectively your street front. It's the side of the building,
right, so
which isn't great in my mind.
well, I think you're thinking about a side. So the image goes to the left.
So that's the
Upper left is what we face the street.
that would be facing the street.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a entry door.
Yeah.
Into the building. So you still see the front entry.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, it's concrete on.
Yeah. That's helpful.
We want to see them rotate the back house.
I don't personally have a problem with the back. Does anyone else does? I mean, I completely understand why the building's rotated for access into the site and the way you situated the drive aisle and everything.
Yeah. Technical one. difference between the two. You will see them,
Right.
but they'll be different. So I think it's very.
The windows, so it's a bay window that is next to the deck. And then it seems like it might just be because it's off scale a little bit. The two windows next to the door, are those of like the same size?
Which, like, are we looking at this elevation?
Yeah, this elevation, so I'm a little just thrown off about the size of them. Especially if they're gonna be facing the, so it's gonna be a representation of the front of the house.
Are you talking these windows?
Yeah, the both, so it's,
These windows
that's
are-
the window,
These windows are about 4 feet tall.
okay, and then,
They're there in the dining, so that there's a. Like if you're entertaining and chafing dishes.
Right.
you serve it. So that's why it's at the height it's at. These two are taller because of, I believe that they're, remember, there's the,
but are they both the same size?
yeah. No, the ones, in the bay window are taller, the other.
No, those next to each other, not the bay window, no,
Oh,
just,
these two,
yeah,
they should be. But you're right,
Same.
yeah.
they should be the same, they should be the same.
It's only because that's going to be, as Brian's point, that's what's going to be on
Yeah,
Dr.
they
Shays'
should be the same.
paper. They should be a little bit bigger, it just looks like tiny,
They will, they will.
windows.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know if we're overstepping, what we're allowed to comment on.
They're really, well, you can definitely ask for an elevation to see what it's gonna look
Yeah.
like. That 100% you can ask for. That is not overstepping.
But I think being that it's the street front elevation and the building is turned to the side, so this is effectively the side of the building. Like a little more attention to the entry from this side, since it's facing the street,
And we were just talking about.
would be helpful.
You could certainly, I think the easiest thing would be put it on the roof.
Yeah, like even if you took the metal roof around the way you did on the bay side or some sort of modification
Yeah, I think that.
to kind of address the street in a more meaningful way, I think would be helpful.
Just discussed
Yeah.
it.
I don't think that's a big issue.
Okay.
So the other unit in that building is would be the opposite, would mirror that, right? The entrance
Yes.
would be in the back,
That is important.
facing.
Again, you can do the same thing.
Because I'm also like cognizant of the fact that, and I understand the adjacent lot is zoned to allow for effectively a whole parking lot there. So, but I am going to Coffee Corral all the time. I'm always looking at that lot. And I don't, this may be a question, Shauna, you may know. Is the zoning requirement of the Coffee Corral lot, would it to ever be redeveloped, require buffer plantings against that side yard?
It would.
It would, right?
Because if it's parking, then it needs, the landscaping.
Okay, so that would kind of solve it right there.
Yeah.
Because it seems quite exposed to have the decks and the AC condensers and that sort of thing right up against that side yard. But it seems that we've already covered that in the zoning. If it ever does get redeveloped, the neighboring properties going to be required. To plant buffer
Look at
plants.
that lot now. Trees that are on the side.
They are, okay, yep, so, okay.
If we really had.
All right, so you might be, Ed, you'll be able to get us a rendering of what this is gonna look like from the street? Because I think that's what Brian's looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else, anything?
I think what Rob wants to do is discuss the time. Because we have to advise our clients and professionals.
3 years. It's been 3 years.
No, we already put it to, so, but I mean. I'd like to get an idea from our professionals.
How long you need?
Yeah, and the board also, Jack, I understand you want to have your planner,
Yeah.
prepare, and I can't tell for enough how much we appreciate your, you know, your acting for it. It's important. We want right by the text. And we all live here, so it's, yeah. We're Red Bank. They've had property Red Bank forever.
It's part of Riverview.
So it's a good dialogue. But,
Yeah, so what are you guys in for? I think we're pretty much open, right?
Yeah,
So it's really your call.
to address the whole Chapman's concerns, redo your plans and.
How much time?
Oh.
I prefer to work on a deadline, so when is the next available time?
I mean, we have a meeting in,
at the end of this month at the 28th and then February 11th. So what?
Obviously, that meeting would be probably the meeting after that. Yeah,
February 11th.
So,
fine.
so are we trying to get to February 11th? Is that, we're trying to,
Yeah, we will carry it to February 11th. If that works for you, Jack.
are you able to get us? Because I don't want to have the planners review the old plans.
Yeah, you have to have them done 10 days ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the physical change is gonna be all that much. It's gonna be more of the dotting the i's and crossing the t's with your technical comments.
Could we get it by the 28th? Or,
Do you need the soil testings? Are you asking?
he said he already
With soil testing's all done.
You have everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
said he hasn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in Jack.
I could get them by the 28th if Jack.
Done.
Okay. All right, so you're comfortable, everyone's comfortable with the 11th?
They get us the plans by the 28th, we'd have enough time to have the planners review those by the 11th.
Okay.
I know, and we can get the letters out, you know, it's just tight for everyone, that's all.
Yeah. All right, so then if there's nothing else, then we're looking for we're gonna carry this application, a motion to carry this application to the February 11th meeting without further notice.
I motion to carry the application to February 11th.
Second.
All in favor? Right, okay, so I know there's no public here, but I'm gonna say nevertheless. This application is being carried to the meeting of February 11th at 7 p.m. You will not receive any further notice. If you wish to be heard in this application, please be in this room at 7 p.m. on February 11th. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank the board for its time and again, we appreciate the.
Thank you.
Uh,
We definitely, I think, a January 28th meeting?
Yeah.
We are. Okay.
It's depressing.
I motion to adjourn meeting.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:35.